Okay, let me introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Ismail Faruqi, Electrical Engineering, International Program 2023. Okay, for the question number one, a function in C is essentially a block of code that performs a specific task. It can take inputs, process them, and then return an output. Function can make program more organized and reusable by breaking down a larger program into smaller ones. Manageable section, for example, you might have a function that calculates the sum of two numbers, and you can use it whenever you need to perform that task without rewriting the code each time. Okay, that's now for the question number two. Argument and parameters are closely related. They are distinct in the terms of their role in the function. Parameters are the variable defined in the function, declaration, or definition. They act like a placeholder for the value and the function will receive when it's called. Like for instance, let's say the code sounds like void sum parenthesis integer a comma integer b parenthesis semicolon. And now for argument, on the other hand, are the actual value passed to the function during its call. Like for example, sum parenthesis 5 comma 10 semicolon. So for summary, for short, parameters are defined in the function header, while arguments are the actual data you pass to the function during execution. Now for the question number 3, declaring a function is essentially telling the compiler that this function exists, providing details such as its name, return type, and parameters, but without specifying what the function does. It sounds like integer sum parenthesis integer comma integer and then semicolon. Calling a function is when you actually execute the function by using its name and passing the required argument. It sounds like sum parenthesis 5 comma 10. So declaration is a promise of what the function will do, while calling is the action of using it. Okay, for the question number 3, to declare a function, you specify its return type, name, and the types of its parameters. For example, declaring a function that adds to integer, it sounds like integer add parentheses integer a comma integer b semicolon. And to call this function, you use the function name followed by the parentheses that contain the actual argument. For example, add parentheses 5 comma 10 parentheses semicolon. The syntax for declaring and calling a function is pretty straightforward, but each function must be declared before it can be called in the code. Okay, now for the question number 5. If you try to call a function inside the declaration of another function, the code won't compile and will result in a syntax error. This is because function calls are only valid within the body of a function, not within its declaration. However, you can absolutely call one function inside the body of another function, which is quite common when functions rely on each other to perform different parts of the code. Okay. Question number 6. So basically, recursion is a powerful concept where a function calls itself in order to solve a problem. This approach is particularly useful when a problem can be broken down to similar sub-problems. Each time a recursive function calls itself, it works with a smaller instance of the problem until it reaches a base case, which is the condition where the recursion ends. For example, if we have a code like integer and then the name of the integer factorial, and then parentheses integer n, and then we using if syntax. If n is equal to 1, then return 1, and then on the next line we have return n times factorial n minus 1. So it's the recursive call. So the factorial function calls itself with a smaller value of n, and the recursion continues until n equal to until n equal to 1. Without a base case, recursion will continue indefinitely, leading to a stack overflow. Recursion is widely used for tasks like searching, sorting, and exploring data structures like tree and graph. However, it can be tricky to implement efficiently if not properly managed. Question number 3. To prevent an infinite recursion, you must always include a base case, which is a condition where the recursion stops. Without this, the function will keep calling itself endlessly. In the factorial example I gave earlier, the base case is when n equal to 1, ensuring that the recursive function reduces the problem and eventually meets the base case is critical to avoid the infinite recursion. Okay. Question number 3. So in my opinion, the most important example of recursion is going to be the Fibonacci sequence. It is a problem that is illustrate how recursion can be used to solve a problem by breaking it down into a smaller subproblem. In the Fibonacci sequence, each term is the sum of two preceding terms. It's going to sound like integer Fibonacci, and then like if n equal to 1 and n equal to 1, if n equal to 0 and n equal to 1, then it's return n, and then return Fibonacci n minus 1 plus Fibonacci n minus 2. So return Fibonacci n minus 1 plus Fibonacci n minus 2 is the recursive call. This recursive approach mirrors the mathematical definition of Fibonacci number and is a textbook example of recursion. Okay, question number 9. I personally think that I will use recursion in a certain scenario, especially when working on problem related to data structure like trees and graphs, or solving complex algorithmic problem that can be naturally divided into smaller subproblems. However, in the most practical software and development work, recursion is often replaced by iterative solutions such as loops. Tends to be more efficient in terms of memory and processing time, but for algorithms like tree traversal, sorting, or any divide and conquer problem, recursion is definitely useful. And then question number 3, I think I'm just going to write the code for it and then put it in the markdown file. Okay, that's all for me. Thank you.